How you doing? Oh, come on. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. So, tunnelmental is going fourth. If we come fifth, that's okay too. What's going on? Well, I mean, lots of things are going on. Um, in this society that's trying to right itself. You know, we're bouncing around, bobbing along on the bottom of the beautiful briny sea. No, we're bobbing along, you see, and we're it's not there yet. We're not there yet. Where's there? We're not there yet, but we're getting close. Every day we get a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit. Oh, that's too close. No, we're getting a little bit nearer and nearer to the finish line. So, what do we do? What do you do? What do I do? What do you do? I'm bouncing along really. I've decided that, you know, I really think too much. I really talk way too much, and I've really enjoyed the fun I've had on the way. So, is it possible to have too much of a good thing? You know, I get all these sayings and phrases, and you know, it's just words, right? It's just words, just words. So, can words hurt? Yeah, of course they can. You know, I mean, often it's the words we use, our conversational skills, or sadly lack of, that get us into all sorts of trouble. And it's better that our actions define us until we get to a command of our language, our interactions. See, it's all about interacting, you know, it's all about our relationship with each other. Okay? I was talking recently about language, and it became obvious the person I was talking to didn't understand very much of what I was saying, not necessarily because of my language, but because of my accent. I'm glad I don't live abroad. Oh dear. I believe my diction and my pontification, my my speaking voice is pretty clear and understandable, but sometimes people stay in their colloquial area of speech and understanding and conversation and communication. They stay in a very small area, and they decipher language as it comes in. A lot of people are frightened of their own truth. That's what that also has come across to me recently. there was a recent conversation I had with somebody, and he had no idea how to interact. Now, his English was pretty good, like really, I mean, he was very easy to understand. He was a slow talker. Obviously not his first language, but he still had a good command of the English language in America. He wasn't from America, he was from Armenia. But his voice and his diction and his communication skills were pretty good. But he didn't know what he should say and what he shouldn't say. See, there's too many, and I say shouldn't because it's like, I think anybody should be able to say anything they want to say. You know, there's a part of me that believes that. So I stayed, I listened, and he worked away around until he got to his points. And the thing that it took him a little while to get into it, but then once he was into it, he just repeated it over and over and over. And it was like, it's like, dude, we disagree on this, so I'll just say no, not interested. You stay in your camp, but we can still be friends because we agree to disagree on a certain issue. And he kept going, same issue. Didn't reword it, didn't re-communicate it in a different way, just kept plodding on. And I was like, this is boring. And not only is it boring, we disagree on this principle. It doesn't matter what the principle is. It really doesn't. I mean, to be honest, I know how to say no. I'm very, very good at it. I've been practicing most of my life. That doesn't mean I'm an instant rebel. I actually give people a lot of leeway regarding their interactions with me. Years, in fact, sometimes. Years and years. Sometimes I'll give that leeway because I see within that person there's something more than the initial need for them to convert me to their way of thinking. I can think what I like. Can I speak what I like? Sure, within reason and within some form of key communicative skill. But does everything that goes into my head or comes up in my head, does that fly out of my mouth? No. Because if it did, it's like, you know, I mean, I don't know about you, but I have perverse thoughts, not just talking sex. I'm talking about, I have perverse thoughts that I work my way through before I pronounce. I mean, I joke about, you know, me being a pontificator and it's all stream of consciousness. It is, but I've practiced over the course of my life a way in which I can at least be civil. You know, civil. You know, there are things that you don't tell people. And you know, everybody says, oh, we're seeking the truth. Well, there are things within your own truth that come up in your mind and mine and everybody else's that you're like, fuck, should I say that? Should I act upon that? Should I do this? I'm not saying we all have psychotic interludes. I'm just saying that we're all capable of letting our mental self dominate our physical, emotional, and spiritual interactions with each other's, with each other as humans. Sometimes you can let the mental side dominate. And when I named my musical project Tunnelmental, it was pretty obvious to me that people who stay in their head can become so easy to manipulate. I mean, it came from the reason I called my musical project Tunnelmental. The reasoning was I'd read Future Shock, Alvin Toffler book, great book, but it was, it's sadly it's weird. It's called Future Shock. It's now sadly out of date, but it's not really. The basis of it is not really out of date. It won't ever go out of date. But anyway, but I read that, and I'm reading other books, and I was like, wow, people just don't keep up. They don't sharpen their awareness by interacting with people regularly, and they end up isolating themselves or being isolated by a sick, sad society. Obviously, we've just been, subject to all that. And of course, the people that did it to us, or did it to you guys, did it to us as a race. Those people are like, oh, well, yeah, we didn't mean it. It's like, oh, really? Anyway, but going back to tunnel vision is when you only see what you want to see. Tunnel mental is you only do what you think you do. So it's like it's not good. It's a negative narrative in a way, but I thought it was mildly humorous because I thought people could get past that. Somebody was talking about intelligence the other day, and it's like, yeah, well, we think Elon Musk's got some good ideas, and I'm like, where do you get that idea from? The man is insane. I mean, totally insane. If it wasn't for the fact that he was a billionaire, and you want to yourself, in some form of crude way, be the most powerful person in the world, I mean, you want that for yourself. So you kind of like look at him and go, well, yeah, he's wacky and he's crazy, but he's a billionaire from it. And it's like, no, the reason he's a billionaire is because he's managed to convince enough people that being a billionaire makes you powerful. He's not really intelligent. If you listen to him speak, it's kind of like listening to a small boy who's discovering for the first time a science fiction book. It's kind of weird. It's almost like Scientology. It's a very strange and weird world when you follow people like him and that little one who thinks he's the greatest doctor in the world and is backpedaling in court right now. Anthony Twat Fauci. People follow people because they see in them, it's like, oh, well, they have power over people. It's like the power they have over them is only mental power. There's no spiritual content. There's no emotional content. There's, the physical content of them is often very awkward in interactions. They're not comfortable in their own skin. Anyway, so tunnelmental is going forth. I'm working on some music. I found some very old recordings that I had no idea I had. They were buried in a bunch of digital files on a hard drive, and I'm bringing them out and thinking, oh, this is going to sound rough because we recorded it in the late 90s or in the 90s, and the technology has got better. Good technology in good hands, right? So the technology has got better, so I thought, oh, these recordings are going to need a bit of work. Actually, they're really fresh. So I was like, oh, so I'm listening to them and I'm re-upping them, adding bits to them in some cases. But yeah, I mean, tunnelmental will go fourth or fifth or sixth. Doesn't matter. It's not a race. All right, I love you. Tunnelmental is putting new music out. Have a look. Look up the word tunnelmental, all one word. Tunnelmental. Just interacting. All right. Lots of love. Cheers for now. Bye.